Hi, I'm Tony Franz. I've been a photographer for over 20 years, and I wanted to make a video about some of the things I wish people would have told me when I was first starting my photography business. One thing is, when I first started off, I was so focused on taking good pictures, which of course is something that you have to do, so you go down the whole rabbit hole of gear and software and how to edit and how to organize and archive and all the technical stuff. And I've seen these photographers before. And then you have bad client experiences. And what I mean by that is you don't talk to the clients in the right way. You don't respect their time. And really what they want is someone that's going to make them feel comfortable. Say if you're doing portraits or weddings, you want to make them feel comfortable getting in front of the camera. If you're shooting properties or landscapes or other types of commercial work, that's fine. Maybe your client is an ad agency or a business that you're working with. You have to kind of make them feel comfortable for hiring you. You have to make the experience memorable. So why isn't good work good enough? I'm trying to think back to where I've shot like maybe some industrial shoots where technically I was maybe flying a drone through a factory or something like that. And maybe my clients weren't super talkative, but I always made it a point to talk to them. Not bother them, but to just check in, make sure everything's going according to plan. A lot of times it doesn't matter, but I would suggest being consistent with everything you do, especially if you're doing good things. Try to make them feel good when you're doing a shoot, and they'll remember that probably more than the pictures you deliver. Another thing is, besides making them feel good, make sure they're having a good experience. If there's something that you can help them out with, not saying we don't do enough already, but hey, if you can step from behind the camera for a second and help them organize or straighten or wrangle, people or whatever. When you are a professional photographer, in my eyes, you're the captain of the ship, even though they're the boss, they're the client. For that hour or 2 or 4 or 8, you have to listen to them, but you also want to make sure they're having a good day and they're having a good experience. Why? Because it's just going to make everything better. And they're going to remember you for that. And then they're going to tell their friends, their family, their coworkers, anybody that needs a photographer about you. Talent doesn't guarantee retention. So what I mean by that is you might could take a great picture and everything like that, but if you spend the entire shoot talking about how great you are, people are just going to be turned off by that. Maybe you can share a little bit about yourself if it kind of jives what they're talking about, but make it more about them and not about you. Some of the other things I see photographers do which are wrong. They delay communication. So if somebody finds you online, sends an email or a form or maybe, a DM, and you are playing hard to get, they're going to go somewhere else. So try to be responsive. If you're home for an hour or two in between shoots and you get an email them back if you have the time, If you can't do it right then and there, do it later on that day, but don't make them wait a day or two. Those people will keep shopping, or they will find someone who gets with them and they get their pictures taken. No one's going to wait that long for you, trust me. If you have an awkward booking process, fix it, plain and simple. I use Squarespace and the Acuity platform, which actually Squarespace purchased a few years ago. I happened to be using Acuity before Squarespace bought them, so kind of worked out nicely for me. And I tell you, a lot of money has gone through Acuity and my Stripe account. It's just an easy way to bill people, collect money, and it goes straight into your bank. So this is photography 101, if you ask me. I don't like getting checks from people because those checks have to be deposited. And I'm kind of like Tim Ferriss, who likes to automate the monotonous things. I like to do that kind of stuff with photography. So fix your booking process. I would suggest having it online or something where people can book you and pick out a time or whatever. Otherwise, you'll spend eons trying to get a check out of somebody, or cash, which I wouldn't say do cash either. Actually, cash is not bad sometimes. Just saying. Every photographer should kind of always be figuring out how to optimize their workflow. So part of your workflow is going to be delivery. How are you going to deliver the photos to people? So say like they're portraits. You send them maybe proofs, and here's everything, give me your best ones that you like, I'll fine tune them and then get them back to you. That can't be a week or two later. I have lost clients because of this, and good clients that have been with me for a long time who are just like, you know what, maybe we can start doing this in-house. Oh, because Tony takes a week or two to get the pictures back to us. Now, I haven't been running with an assistant now. For years, I had an assistant who really got my stuff back quick, but I actually shoot more now, so my assistant now are usually editors, yes, who help with processing lots of real estate photography and stuff like that. So it's good to have help, but moral of this whole long story, get back with your people quickly, as quick as possible, just saying. And don't lose the personal touch. Always have some kind of personal touch with people. And no, I don't mean touch them. I don't mean get touchy-feely. Unless they get touchy-feely with you and you can kind of give them a little touch back. I don't know, is that gross? Is that cringe? That is cringe. Stressful shoot energy. Yeah, if you show up to a shoot and you're hungover or you're sweating or you're nervous or whatever, that's gonna freak people out. It's gonna make people nervous. I can kind of remember my wedding photography days. Like, I'd seen all kinds of wedding photographers because it seemed like when I was shooting weddings, I was going to weddings a lot too, probably because I was younger. Now I tend to stay away from weddings, wedding crashing here. Maybe if it's friend or family's wedding, I'll go, but no. So anyways, if a photographer has stressful shoot energy or they're just nervous or whatever, you just got to figure that out. You have to kind of show them that you're confident in holding that camera and that you're professional and you're taking the photos and everything's going to be good. You have to be super confident that you can deliver that. And then that confidence will show not just in your pictures, but on the faces of everybody that you're photographing. Of course, this sounds like wedding photography again, but you could apply that to any kind of client you want. Here's some of the things that I think makes a photographer remembered. Besides the good pictures, number one, clear communication. Hey, we need to get this ladder. We need to get this person, handle it. Have a vision of what's going to happen. Know what needs to happen. And then kindly, politely, and professionally make it happen. Try to have a warm, professional vibe when talking to people. If you haven't really gelled with anybody, don't try to act like you're buddy-buddy with them just yet. Keep it professional. Keep on task. You can get to them. You can get them. You can be sweet to them at some point. But for now, get the job done. But just remember to be nice and professional. Organized systems is something that starts with your camera gear and it goes into your software and it goes how you deliver and how you market and how you bank and how you treat your relationships. And oh my gosh, there's a lot there, but just start working it. Figure out what it takes to get the job done and then go back and figure out how to get that job done better. Maybe I could have got those photos delivered quicker, or maybe processed a little bit better, or my follow-up, or my marketing afterwards, or maybe I'm going to publish a couple of these online for my marketing. A human connection. Something else. Say if you are working with a group of 5 to 10 people. I'm not saying you have to super connect with all 10 people, but just to see who kind of lends themselves to that scenario. If you are giving directions in a business and you're like, wow, here's what needs to happen, and someone comes up and says, anything you need me to help you with, I will be your point person. Give that person a hug? Just kidding. But try and work with that person as much as you can. If there's someone else that gravitates towards you, get people working because you're there working for them and you want to deliver a good product and service. Just try to connect with one person. If you connect with one, then maybe another, but just remember what you're there for. And I've told some of these kind of stories before, like when I was super focused on taking good photos, and the whole idea of having good relationships kind of crept into me. Like I started to notice early on that I thought that we did a really good job with this shoot, with this, destination wedding or this company photos or whatever. You had such a good time, but then no referrals came from it. Why is that? Maybe things didn't go as good as you thought they did because you were kind of more focused on you and not on your clients. Just something to think about. Don't make it about you. Make it about them. They're the one that's paying the money. You're there for them. So make the experience worth remembering for them. Keep it professional, keep it friendly, but make it fun and make it awesome. When I did have good experiences, that seems like, wow, many referrals came in. And I think about this in two different areas that I've shot in the 20 plus years, in weddings and in real estate. So it has happened with some of my design work as well. I've shot for some interior designers that kind of referred me to others, but with weddings especially, I would always tell a couple that I was getting ready to shoot to make sure that they introduce me to everybody that's really important at their wedding. And it would be like, hi, I'm Tony, and you are Jim, and you are Jen, and da-da. I'm talking going around and shaking hands with people so you get familiar with each other, so they know who's taking their picture, and they call you up by name, and then they see their friends talking to you and calling you up by name. That's the kind of thing that gets you in with a family. When you're shooting a wedding, you're there for one of the best days of their lives. So you want to make it a great experience, not just for them, but them and you being with them and photographing them. And it just, boy, I could have shot a million weddings, but I got out of it. I always had good relationships. There was maybe one time, and I won't even get into it right now. Okay, so in closing, like I said, you can take amazing photos, but if you don't have good relationships with your clients, they are not going to refer you. So just remember, they won't come back. And I haven't really even started talking about repeat business that much, but it's nice. And I think a lot of people hear about it online, retainers. Great, you have regular work coming in. Really helps you kind of fine tune your workflows and everything like that. So we'll get into that at some point. Okay, I think that's just about it for now. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, you know what you can do. Leave the questions below. Follow the photography space for more. Thanks.